I just sat down and filmed this whole clip and realized that I cut the top of my head off. So we will try this again. I would definitely anticipate that you're going to need help for the first week.
And I was in a lot of pain throughout the night trying to sleep.
Having somebody in your corner for this type of surgery is going to be very, very beneficial. It is Monday, which means it's officially been 1 week since my surgery. I had my surgery done last Tuesday at about 10:30 a.m. and it is currently Monday about 1 p.m. So I did a pretty good job of documenting the journey for the first few days. I am out of surgery and in a sling. I can't really feel my arm from the nerve block. It should be in place for another couple hours. So my husband's running into Walmart to pick up my prescription and some Gatorade and Jell-O so I can have a somewhat liquid diet for a little bit until we know my stomach's going to handle it. But the surgeon said everything went well and that he did not have to do the TFCC repair, which is awesome news because that was the one that was a little more intensive. So I'll be in a sling for the rest of the day and hopefully I can take some medicine and take a good nap. But otherwise I'm feeling pretty good. A little, not loopy, but I can tell I'm not talking totally normal after the propofol. I'm glad everything went well and ready for recovery to begin. Well, I just woke up from a 3-hour nap. My arm I can kind of start to move it now. Still not great though. Definitely starting to feel some pain. Overall, not doing too bad. I certainly am missing not having any caffeine today, and all I've eaten so far is a little tiny sleeve of Ritz crackers with peanut butter and like a little applesauce pouch. So looking forward to having something for dinner. So far, maybe not as bad as I was expecting yet, but also my nerve block's not fully worn off. So we will see as the day progresses. This is the little setup I've got going on. I've got a body pillow, another body pillow, my water that has the sillable top, and a little stand to put my phone on. And then I do have another stand over here somewhere for my Kindle, but I haven't set that up yet. This is definitely the world's most flattering angle, but I did want to talk about a few things while they were still fresh on my mind. So woke up this morning, actually wasn't feeling too anxious at all, which was good. I mean, anxious, but not as bad as I was expecting. We got to the surgery center at 8:45. They really promptly checked me in, and within less than 5 minutes, I was back in the pre-op area. My nurse was really awesome. She talked to me the whole time, which really helped to keep my nerves down. I didn't have too much downtime to think about what was happening. She set me up with my IV, had me get changed into everything, and then there was like a small downtime period between the surgeon coming to see me to mark the site and then anesthesia coming to see me. Cool thing, at least I thought it was cool. They did a regional nerve block, so they started at the top of my shoulder here and then another one down, I believe in the brachial area. And they gave me some Versed beforehand, but I was able to kind of fight going to sleep and watch them on the ultrasound as they were placing the nerve block, which was really cool in my opinion. At least as a nurse, it was fun to watch. And then I was still fully awake as they rolled me back. I slid over onto the operating table, and then sometime shortly after that, I didn't really get a heads up. They put some oxygen on me, and then I was out. I could have sworn to you that I woke up at the end of my surgery and saw the surgeon and asked him a couple of questions, but when I asked the anesthesiologist, she said that I didn't ask anything at the end. So maybe I was just seeing him and imagining a scenario in my head, or maybe overhearing somebody talk. I'm not sure. My recovery, I guess I was only awake for the last maybe 5 or 10 minutes of it. They pretty much woke me up put an ice pack on my sling and told me my husband was ready for me. We left, stopped at Walmart to get my prescription and everything, and then came home. I think I fell asleep around 3 o'clock. I took my medicine at like 2:15 because I was starting to feel it wear off, and they told me to take it before I could really start feeling anything. I slept from 3 to 6 and probably gonna get something to eat and maybe try to go back to sleep for a little while. I think the goal for today is just to sleep as much as possible, so we'll see how it goes.
So I thought I would pop on. It is currently 1 a.m. and give a last little update on day 1 after my surgery. My nerve block ended up wearing off around like 9 p.m. So it was definitely a little bit longer than they had told me, but I typically have that experience with lidocaine, so I wasn't surprised. After my nerve block wore off, I've definitely been in a lot more pain. The pain medicine they gave me has helped a little, but definitely not as much as I was hoping that it would. But that's okay. I figured the first 24 hours were going to be a little rough. Hoping by the end of the day tomorrow, if not the next morning, things will be looking a little bit better. I just thought I would share my experience with that because I didn't see too many people post a lot of videos about getting wrist surgery, and nobody specifically that had gotten my exact surgery. Everyone seemed like on their first day they didn't really have much pain at all, and they were kind of like back to their normal lives, like moving their arms around. I'm not having that experience. I definitely have a lot of pain with positioning and moving my arm. I pretty much have to keep it close to my chest, and for the first, I would say like 6 or 7 hours, I couldn't even like elevate my arm on a pillow, so my fingers had gotten a little swollen. I think they have gone down some. I was able to elevate it for several hours. I've been icing on and off as much as possible as well, and the ice pack really hurts with the pressure on my wrist. However, I know that the ice is helping, so I've been trying to keep it on. I was able to eat dinner and nothing really upset my stomach, so that's good. I was worried that with the medications I'm on that I would get nauseous. I know that's pretty common, but as long as I've been eating beforehand, it seems like it's doing okay. I would say on a scale of 1 to 10, my pain is probably setting like the ache that is kind of consistent, probably like a 4. But whenever I get like the sharp, like really searing pain, that jumps up to definitely like an 8 or a 9. That doesn't typically last. It's usually like comes and goes pretty quick. Hoping for a better day tomorrow. I'm all set up in bed. I've got 2 body pillows around me again, and I have a bed that raises up because I'm a side sleeper. So I'm hoping I'm not going to roll onto my arm in the middle of the night because I sleep through anything. And I, since injuring my arm, definitely woken up in positions where I'm like, why did that not wake me up? But I have my water, I have my pain meds, Kindle, my phone. Not really tired yet. I ended up drinking a cup of coffee at like 8 p.m. just because I was starting to get a caffeine headache. Hoping I'm able to go to sleep after I take my medicine around 2, and then I won't have to wake up again until 8 to take the next dose. That's a wrap for day 1. I'll check back in with you tomorrow. So it is the end of day 2, and I just really didn't feel like recording much today, I'll be honest. I ended up taking like a 4-hour nap in the middle of the day, which was really nice. I needed that. I woke up. Well, I slept through my alarm this morning to take my pain medication at 8, and I was in a lot of pain throughout the night trying to sleep, so I was kind of on and off sleeping through the night, but I woke up. We had somebody that knocked on the door for an inspection, so that woke me up, and I ended up taking my pain meds at about 9:30, and I was still in a pretty decent amount of pain till probably like noon or 1, and then I kind of noticed that my pain wasn't as bad, so I ended up not taking any more pain meds until 8:30 tonight, and I'm foregoing taking them before bed, which I'm questioning if it's a good decision or not. It's really more itchy now than painful. Like I feel it. It doesn't feel great, but I think it's something that once I fall asleep, I'll be fine. And it'll also hopefully encourage me to not knock it around too much in my sleep because I'm a very deep sleeper. We're going to try to go without pain meds tonight. We'll see if that's a mistake. Didn't really do too much of anything today. Zach was still home with me. We watched a lot of X-Files. I watched some YouTube videos. Like I said, I took a 4-hour nap, which was really nice. It is currently 1:44 in the morning, so this is about my normal bedtime. I start winding down. Probably try to read a little bit before I go to sleep, and then hopefully get a full night's sleep tonight. Last night I got a little less than 6 hours, and the same with the night before. So I had a 3-hour nap the day of the surgery, then a 4-hour nap today. So I'm getting enough sleep. It's just kind of broken. So far, my thoughts on the surgery. It's been more painful than I imagined. Not excruciating, just more than I was anticipating. For whatever reason, I have a very high pain tolerance, so it's not been unbearable. It's been fine. It's just, I guess I hadn't put a whole lot of thought into it because I didn't want to work myself up before the surgery. Like I had mentioned previously, I'd watched several videos of people that had also had wrist surgery that seemed like they bounced back immediately. And I can't say that I've quite had that experience, but I'm hopeful with the progress I've made today. If it keeps getting better in that type of trajectory, then I think I'll be doing okay. But more than that is just the feeling of complete dependence that I've had on my husband. I was not prepared for that because I've spent a month leading up to this surgery really not being able to do much with my right hand. However, I was still using it in a supportive way that I just can't at all now. So there's so many things that I just can't do for myself. Even as simple as like opening a protein shake or like the lid to a yogurt is very hard. Trying to eat peanut butter out of like a little one of those to-go containers with my crackers, it just slides around everywhere because you don't have anything to anchor it down with. It's been a little more challenging than I was expecting, but nothing unbearable by any means. Excited to get through this first week. Hopefully things will be a little bit more back to normal-ish by the end. Maybe that's hopeful. Yeah, so I will just keep checking in anytime there's an update and just let you know how it's going. But otherwise, I'm going to read and try to get a good amount of sleep tonight.
It is day 3. I messed up last night by not taking any pain meds before bed. I woke up in excruciating pain about 10:30 this morning, and it is currently 12:30, so 2 hours after taking both my pain meds, and it has not touched it. I am still hurting pretty good, so definitely not going to do that again tonight. I've just been trying to elevate and ice it. My hair is starting to get pretty greasy today. I'm definitely ready for a shower, but not going to be able to do that anytime soon. I did buy some like shower body wipes and had them delivered today, so hopefully I'll be able to do kind of like a bird bath shower. That's kind of the update for me right now. Hoping this pain gets under control here in a little bit. I might try to take another nap and see if that helps. Thursday morning, I woke up in pretty decent pain. I think I had mentioned that I went to bed without taking my pain meds the night before because I was feeling pretty good. Not a good idea. So I woke up in pretty decent pain on Thursday. And then throughout the day, realized I was having some secondary complications from my pain medication, if you know what I'm saying. That kind of led into Friday as well. And when my husband got home from work, we ended up going to the ER. Friday night, we were there about 6 hours. So that was not a fun time, but got everything taken care of. I was starting to feel better. I had kind of not eaten very much those past 2 days because I didn't have much of an appetite. I had completely stopped taking any pain pills because I was afraid of making the problem worse. That was a rough 2 days, you could say, but this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, were a lot better for me. I did not end up taking any pain medications. I still haven't. The pain went from, I would say Thursday, Friday, I was sitting at like a 4 or 5. on and off. It's not like constant pain. And then this weekend it was around a 2 or a 3. Today I would say I'm really like a 1-2. Like it has gotten better pretty much every single day since the surgery, which I'm thankful for. It definitely hurt a lot worse than I was anticipating, probably because I didn't think about the surgery too much leading up to it, just to kind of stave off any anxiety. However, I do think it backfired a little bit just because I wasn't fully mentally prepared for what I was diving into. In my mind, I was going in for a minor surgery and I would bounce back in a couple of days. Like I had seen a couple people that I'd watched videos on that had recently had surgery as well on their wrist. And that was just not the case for me. It definitely, I think, made it harder with it being my dominant hand. And it also, I had a debridement done with the cartilage on like the subsheath on the outside of my wrist. I think that may also be a contributor to why it was so painful for me. Things are looking up. I have my appointment with my occupational therapist tomorrow. My dad's driving up to take me to that appointment. So I'm hoping, they told me at the surgery center that I would be getting my splint taken off and my bandages changed at this appointment. They did not say if the splint was going back on or not. I'm really, really hoping it comes off. It has been such a pain. I can't bend my arm and my elbow. I can't bend my wrist. I can barely move my fingers and that's about it. So it has just been very uncomfortable, to say the least, to have such limitations on my arm. I'm really, really hoping tomorrow that they decide that I can forego the splint and just have a bandage, but we shall see. If not, I'm gonna have my next follow-up appointment with my surgeon next week on Wednesday. So at that appointment, I'm pretty positive that everything should be able to come off, and then I will just be in recovery mode and trying to rehab my wrist at that point. I've kind of felt like I was living Groundhog's Day every day since the surgery. I just kind of wake up and come out onto the couch. I do my little morning routine to the best of my ability with one hand, and I sit down, I watch YouTube videos and wait for my husband to get home, and then we've been watching the X-Files. We had been kind of slowly watching it for the past couple of years, just not really committing very well. We both love the show, but we would just sit down and watch like half of a season over a couple weeks and then forget about it for a few months and get back onto it. So we sat down and finished season 4 and 5, and then last night we watched the movie, which was excellent. I highly recommend if you've never seen it before and you've watched the show. It's a really good time. I really wanted to document this journey, especially during the first week of my surgery, because I couldn't find too much online of people like sharing their experience of having wrist surgery done, and I just thought it would be good for other people that may be going through something similar to have an idea of what to expect. I don't want to scare anybody who's getting wrist surgery done. I just think that I went into it completely thinking it was a minor surgery and that I was going to bounce back the next day, which was silly of me to think in hindsight, but I think I was just trying to be very optimistic to not stress myself too much. So I would definitely anticipate that you're going to need help for the first week. I'm not a very dependent person. I'm actually pretty independent to a fault. I usually won't ask for help with anything. So it's been a huge adjustment for me having my husband the first 2 days and then again this weekend having to do almost everything for me. And then on the days that he did go to work, we had to set up everything the night before where he was opening pretty much every type of jar, packaging, anything you can think of, and setting it in the fridge for me or in another container that I could get to the next day. So that has been a struggle, but I know that that's going to keep getting better each week. And I'm very thankful that I had somebody that has been so willing and able to help and just very nice about it, never made me feel guilty. And if you don't have somebody, if you live alone, I would highly recommend seeing if you can have a friend help you once or twice a week, or if before your surgery you can try to pre-open things for yourself to try to think ahead of things you won't be able to twist or pull with one hand. That pretty much wraps up my first week of surgery. I do plan to keep documenting the journey of my recovery over the upcoming weeks, so you can look out for a video on those next week and the weeks after. I hope that this helped you if you're planning to have wrist surgery or know somebody that plans to have wrist surgery, and I'll catch you in the next video.